up, everybody? OldSchoolNYCGamer here once again with another video. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be talking about a franchise that is near and dear to my heart. And I actually just beat this specific title as of last night. Now, you got to be wondering if it's old school, new school. It's from a new generation, surprisingly. And I'm shocked that I actually beat this game. Quite shocked. But I was very intrigued by it, just for the fact from this series. I ended up playing it back on the Xbox and the PS2. But a lot of people who know me from my first-person shooter history, going back to Castle Wolfenstein, Medal of Honor for the PlayStation 1, Duke Nukem, so on and so forth, Quake, it had to happen and I had to play this game. I actually first saw it at Digital Press of all places. I actually saw the gameplay and I wanted to try it out. After 15 minutes, I was freaking hooked on this. I wouldn't think I would actually get to play till long afterwards, but after getting the Xbox 360 and actually getting this game through a trade, I finally got to play it. It only took me on and off for 2 days. I finally got to beat it, and I'll talk about that game in 1 second. But the franchise I'm talking about here is Call of Duty. Now, I'm showing you here my favorite Call of Duty game of all the games that are out, being Call of Duty Finest Hour. And the fact that you can play as the Allies, being the Americans, the British, and Russian forces to defeat Hitler was definitely a cool thing here. Lots of levels on this, and playing it on all 3 levels, it was definitely challenging. As long as you know the patterns to this, you could beat this game pretty quickly. But I do enjoy it. Just the fact that you can do quite a few things in this, and I did dig it. So there you go. So the game I'm talking about here that I finally got to beat was Call of Duty Black Ops. And you got to be saying to yourself, why the hell would you be talking about a semi-new generation game? Well, talking about Call of Duty, this being World War II, didn't stray too far off when it came to Call of Duty Black Ops. And, it basically does take place on the dates between 1945 to 1968. So, huge spoiler alerts, people. If you have not played this game, I do recommend that you X out of this channel. Okay? So, let's get to it here. Basically, Mason, who is the main character who works for the CIA, he wakes up in an interrogation room, with a bunch of television screens with numbers, and he just hears a random voice, telling him what these numbers mean. He's being electroshocked. The visuals are pretty grim, and it's, freaky. And, of course, as it's shocking him and whatnot to ask him to remember, this entails, the story. He's basically trying to remember exactly everything that happened during the years of 1963 to up to 1968. So basically, around that time, this is when the Cold War was happening between the Bay of Pigs, the Vietnam conflict, so on and so forth. So, of course, in the first stage that I played at Digital Press was, an assassination attempt on Fidel Castro. As I did that and shot him, or so I thought I shot him, me and some of my other troops trying to escape off the island. I got caught, so I was sent to a Russian gulag prison. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head what it was called. Vertuka, I think it's called. I'm sorry if I did mispronounce that. Like I said, it was a long session of me playing this game. So, as I'm in the gulag here, I'm having it out with an inmate, and out of nowhere, I'm befriended by an inmate named Reznov, who was in the Russian army in World War II, who was sent to the same prison that Mason was. So, basically, as we're escaping, huge riot breaks out. The Red Army's trying to stop us. We shoot our way out, so on and so forth. So, as we're escaping and we're, home free, Reznov gets caught as I get set free. So, entailed, I'm going through a ton of missions here, just to catch certain people. Basically, going back to the Bay of Pigs deal, at the time, and it was always suspected through, United States intelligence that Russia was in cahoots with Cuba, both being communist countries, and so on and so forth. So in the game, there were certain Russian forces that were helping the Cubans out. But this is something way bigger in the bigger scheme of things. They actually had some kind of a poisonous gas that they wanted to unleash on the United States, and basically just start World War III in a chemical warfare kind of sense. So, getting through the game, I got to admit, it was pretty rough, and I did like how they took certain aspects of Call of Duty, Big Red One, Call of Duty, Finest Hour, and little things here and there, just slight tweaks that I actually did enjoy. The fact that, the visuals alone were pretty appealing. The weapon selection was very good. They were very accurate with a lot of the weapons. That is, I've studied a lot of, weapons from World War II up until the Vietnam conflict. They were pretty spot on with some of the weaponry that they used. One moment here. But what the kicker is here, and of course I said this being a video game, is, you think in the last half or the 1/3 half off of the game near the end, you think who you are, you're helping Reznov. Reznov actually brainwashed them. Or so apparently. He was brainwashed by, not Reznov, but one of the other enemies that you killed. They brainwashed him, and of course Mason thinking at one point he was Reznov. So he actually basically did, his dirty work for him, which was kind of a nice twist within the storyline. And within the game, too, there was also the plot to assassinate Kennedy. Now, getting near to the end of the game, as I beat it, this is where the twist kind of threw me off. Being 1968, Kennedy was assassinated in 63. So you got to kind of wonder about that, too. They didn't really touch on that, unless this is going into Call of Duty Black Ops 2, which I don't have a copy of yet. But, getting to the end of the game, you see one of the guys that was basically talking with Mason, briefing him and whatnot. Then you have John F. Kennedy, Richard Nixon, and I believe Fidel Castro, which I find really funny. And of course, when you beat the game, you basically go into Call of Duty Zombie mode, which is a survival mode. I know a lot of you played that. So, overall, I do find this game, really fun. I do see, a bit of replayability. Honestly, though, I don't play the multiplayer, and a lot of people always ask me to play online. I'm not really into it. I'm more for the story mode. I want to see what happens. I want to see, it's not really about achievements. I just want to, try to get through the game as best I can, and just to see what really happens at the end of the game. That's what intrigued me, playing Call of Duty Finest Hour, and of course we know who won in the end, but I wanted to see, certain missions, how they were done, how they completed. And of course, this was a good twist here, thinking that you're assassinating Castro, when of course, in the end, they were all in cahoots, so go figure. But anyway, people, yeah, that's my impressions and take on Call of Duty Black Ops. I do recommend it, like I said, if you're, totally into the first-person shooter genre, I do recommend it if you have a copy. It's good just to play just for the bit, for the hell of it. But of course, if you're one of those online guys, I don't have to say as much as 9 million people have said about this game. And that's about it, people. So thank you for listening to my blather here and whatnot. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them at the bottom. And I'm always on Facebook and Twitter and DailyMotion if you want to check out my updates. And that's about it. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for watching. To all my old and new subscribers, thank you as well. Have a good night, everybody, and take care. Cheers.